By bringing Matthews, Marner, and Nylander together, Craig Berube just created the most expensive top line in NHL history. But he's not even convinced it'll work, saying they got to change the way they play. They can't all sit outside wanting the puck. To talk about that, here are Bryan Hayes and Craig Button. Hazer, do you think this could work, reuniting this trio?
I want this to work, and I think I can speak for every Leaf fan when I say this is a dream come true for Leaf fans. This is fantasy GM, fantasy coach, right? Put all the three best players together and watch the magic happen. But I'm with Craig Berube, and I think he knows it. I don't see this working. I'm not sure this gets through a period in Dallas tonight for a couple of different reasons. I'll start outside of the three guys in that top line, and that would be the imbalance that comes with the lineup if the three of them are playing together. And John Tavares has been really good this year. Really, really good. I don't believe he can drive a line throughout the whole season. He's being asked to do that right now with Matthew Knies and Max Pacioretty. Max Domi, prior to the other night, has had a dreadful offensive season. There is more there. I believe it will come, but he's going to need some help. I think it's more likely Matthews, Marner, Nylander come playoff time are on three separate lines than they are the same line, again, because of that imbalance. But then when you look at the three of them together, Craig, I just don't see this mixing well in terms of long-term success. It's the old saying. I think Lou Lamoriello used to say it. Brian Burke used to say it. It's like a symphony. You need different instruments here. Craig Berube is stating it. He knows it. These guys are not going to get in on the forecheck. None of them are going to live in front of the net. And you want their line mates deferring to them individually. Nylander, Matthews, Marner. At this point, one, if not two, are going to have to defer at the same time. I don't see it working. I'm curious to see how it plays out. It's a fantasy. They're playing with house money because they're only 31 games into the season. But, Craig, I don't see how this is going to work for Craig Berube in that top line.
Why can't we just have a little fun with it? You know, it's December the 18th, and the Leafs are having a little bit of the struggles. They're still a good team in the National Hockey League, a very good team in the National Hockey League. Why can't we just have some fun with it? What happens if Craig Berube just says, you know what? Let's put 34, 16, and 88 together. Let's see what happens. You know, sometimes players just need something different to get through what I call the long days of December before you get to the new year. Is it going to work long term? I don't think it is. Will it work short term? Who knows? But let's have some fun with it. Let's have some betting action on it. How many shots, how many goals can they get? Sometimes you're just trying to get the players excited. The other thing that I'm going to say about it too is, you know, things aren't going well. You mix things up a little bit. The Edmonton Oilers earlier this season were not scoring, but their process was really good. The Leafs' process is pretty darn good. They're not at the goals for or 21st in the league, Gino, but their process is in the top half of the league, and in some areas top 10. So they're not scoring right now, and that's what ends up happening. You start to say, oh boy, what's wrong with them? They got enough skill. To Craig Berube's point, they're going to have to find different ways to score come playoff time. I believe that this year is just one big dress rehearsal for the playoffs. And on December 18th, put this trio together. It's like getting your Christmas cookies before Christmas.
I get what you're saying, but the numbers are concerning. The Leafs had the second highest scoring offense in the league last year. Now they're 21st. Sure, the defense is better, but you still need to put the puck in the net. So, Hayes, you say that putting the three of them together isn't the answer. So what should Craig Berube do to help the offense out a little?
I think he just has to be patient. I really do. I know that might not be the answer you're looking for, Gino, but they played 31 games. They're sitting atop the division right now. It's going to come. They have too much offensive ability here. Auston Matthews, in and of himself, will move them up the chain here, up the rankings once he gets back to where he is at an elite level in terms of goal scoring and creation. And he's getting there. You can see it coming. But he has had a very up and down tumultuous season, including that injury, which clearly would stagger the numbers a little bit. I believe Max Domi has more to give, and I believe he will at some point. Max Pacioretty's back in the lineup. Bobby McMann. They've dealt with a lot of injuries up front, and I think they've weathered the storm very well. And Craig Berube is trying to implement a new style of play that will be effective come playoff time. You don't throw it out in December, especially when you're winning, when you believe the process is going to get you to the promised land. And I had Peter DeBoer on OverDrive yesterday, and Peter was speaking on that he's looking at the analytics. He's looking at the eye test and the numbers, and he's been impressed with how the Leafs are operating out there, the way they are proceeding with their game plan. I think it's going to come. Also, the top four, the transition out of their own zone is drastically better this year, and that will factor into the offense as we move forward with Tanev, with Ekman-Larsson. So again, it's early in the year. You got to be patient. They're going to move the lines around, Craig, but I think Craig Berube should be pretty happy with the process, like you said, and eventually I think those results are going to be there for them.
You know, they play in Buffalo on Friday night. They could be the Buffalo Sabres. You know, you think about top of your division for the Toronto Maple Leafs. You know that they have lots of talent. I love the word you use, patience. And, you know, it's like, you know, the team doesn't score. Matthews isn't on pace to score 900 goals this season. So now there's exploding heads amongst Leafs Nation. Just relax here. Just relax. You know what? Christmas is coming around the corner, 7 days, and everybody will unwrap the gifts. The gifts for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they want to unwrap those presents come playoff time. Because right now, and we can say it doesn't matter. Yeah, it matters to a certain degree. It doesn't really matter. This is about getting your team into a mindset and a place of what it's going to take in the playoff. And it's not about being a one-trick pony. I think they've been a one-trick pony in past seasons. Now you're trying to look at different things. I remember a playoff series where Scotty Bowman took Yzerman, Fedorov, and Shanahan and loaded it up. And, you know, people are going, what's he doing here? What's he doing here? Well, bottom line, what he was doing was he was trying to get Pronger and McInnes on the ice at the same time so the second line could come and take advantage. And they did. So this is about the playoffs. This isn't about right now.
All right, but not going to be easy on the offensively challenged Leafs tonight. They get the Dallas Stars, the best defensive team in the entire league right now.